Today on BenchBriefs, we're looking at a landmark Supreme Court of Canada decision that grapples with the delicate balance between religious freedom and equality rights. The case is Law Society of British Columbia versus Trinity Western University, decided in 2018, and it raises important questions about who gets to set the standards for professional accreditation and what values those standards should reflect. Here's the story. Trinity Western University, or TWU, is a private Christian university that wanted to open a law school. Like all law schools in British Columbia, TWU needed accreditation from the Law Society of British Columbia, which regulates the legal profession to ensure lawyers meet certain standards before they can practice. TWU's application ran into a major roadblock because of its community covenant, a code of conduct that all students must agree to. This covenant requires students to abstain from sexual intimacy outside of heterosexual marriage. The Law Society initially granted accreditation, but soon after it reversed its decision. Why? Because the covenant was seen as discriminatory against LGBTQ individuals. The Law Society worried that the covenant could create a hostile environment for LGBTQ students, and that graduates from TWU might not uphold the professional standards of equality and non-discrimination expected of lawyers. Following public consultations and a lot of debate, the Law Society concluded that accrediting TWU's law school would undermine the values of inclusivity and equal access to the legal profession. TWU challenged this decision, arguing that the Law Society's refusal infringed on their religious freedom. They claimed that their community covenant was an expression of sincerely held religious beliefs, and that denying accreditation was unreasonable and unfair. At the heart of the dispute was a clash between two fundamental Canadian values: freedom of religion and equality rights. The Supreme Court of Canada had to answer some tough questions. First, was the Law Society's decision reasonable? In other words, did the Law Society have a rational basis to deny accreditation based on concerns about discrimination? Second, how do we balance religious freedom with the right to equality in the context of professional accreditation? Can a religious institution's policies exclude certain groups without conflicting with broader societal values? In its decision, the court upheld the Law Society's decision to deny accreditation. The majority recognized that while religious freedom is a protected right, it is not absolute and can be limited when it conflicts with other important rights, like equality. The Law Society, as a regulator, has a duty to ensure that lawyers uphold the principles of equality and non-discrimination, which are essential to public confidence in the justice system. The court found that the community covenant's restrictions on sexual intimacy outside heterosexual marriage effectively discriminated against LGBTQ individuals. This discrimination could discourage LGBTQ students from applying to TWU's law school or create an unwelcoming environment for them. Since the Law Society's role includes ensuring equal access to the legal profession, it was reasonable for them to conclude that accrediting TWU would undermine that goal. Why does this case matter beyond the immediate parties? It sets a precedent for how professional regulatory bodies can approach issues where religious beliefs and equality rights collide. It confirms that freedom of religion, while deeply valued, does not give institutions carte blanche to impose discriminatory policies, especially when those policies have real impacts on access and inclusion. The case also sparked a national conversation about diversity in the legal profession and the role of law schools in fostering inclusive environments. It reminds us that accreditation isn't just a rubber stamp. It's a way to uphold the integrity and fairness of the profession as a whole. In the end, Law Society of British Columbia versus Trinity Western University is about finding a balance, respecting religious convictions while ensuring that all aspiring lawyers have equal opportunities to enter the profession free from discrimination. It's a powerful example of how Canadian courts navigate complex social values in a diverse society. Thanks for listening to Bench Briefs. Join us next time for another deep dive into the cases shaping Canadian law.